this episode of the Ritzy Travel Guide, we rate every single cruise ship we went on in the past year and show you what were the best and worst experiences we had. From the biggest to the smallest and the cheapest of the lot to the most expensive. We'll review who has the best pools, who has the most dynamic entertainment, some of them really wowed. We'll grade all the food, show you the restaurants we loved to the not so good. We'll go through the best cabins and why we say that, the ships we dressed up for and those we didn't, and which was unexpectedly the most romantic. We'll also include some of the best excursions we took around the world. We've got a whole lot to show you. This is the Ritzy Travel Guide. Welcome back to the Ritzy Travel Guide. My name is Bill and it's great to have you along with us. So this is our annual review episode where we go through all of the ships we tried over the past 12 months. During this time we've been on 7 cruise ships, all totally different to each other. And each is from a totally different price point, from budget right up to super deluxe. We got some ships that are very laid back, a couple which are very active and busy, and we got a very unusual one from right around the other side of the world that's perfect for intrepid explorers. Plus I have some unseen footage that we've never shown you before, because the final 2 ships that I'm showing you in this video, we haven't even released our review yet. We literally just stepped off the ship, just got back. You're seeing them before anybody else. Right, so 7 ships to show you. Let's wind the clock right back to last December. We'll start off with ship number 1, and I think it's one of the best all-rounders out there in the entire cruise industry, but often gets overlooked and shouldn't be. It's from Holland, America, and it's their flagship, the Rotterdam, and it's in the premium sector of the cruise industry. On this cruise, we went around Central America, the Caribbean, and the Panama Canal. Launched in 2021, it has 2,668 passengers, which I think is a really manageable size. It's not one of these mega ships, and has won a lot of awards, and I can understand why, because it is getting a lot of things right. Right, here we go, embarkation day. And from the very moment you step aboard, you get the feel and tone of the ship. And to my eyes, I think the designers have done a great job. They've really blended a timeless, elegant feel with more contemporary, whilst at the same time giving a sense of space and openness. It's got a certain grandeur, it's got a certain elegance to it, hasn't it?
Come aboard a ship, first impressions is very important.
They are very important.
One looks quite classy in the lighting.
I think it does look classy. Certain executive feel to it, don't you think? There's no gimmicks, no bling, no unnecessary shine or shimmery extras. It's just well laid out, and bits that don't drop or snap or fall off, which is always reassuring at sea. These aren't flimsy ships. Let's go outside and show you the pools and the decks. The Rotterdam has 2 pools, one right in the centre and one at the aft deck. Let's take a look at both. Here we go, the Lido pool. And we really enjoyed this area, and we think it's one of the best designed we've seen for a while. Now, I think these Pinnacle class ships have absolutely got this section bang on right. There's 3 very artistic looking hot tubs with a great view right down the centre. And once again, a lot of seating flanked along both sides of the ship. And as with most modern ships these days, there is a retractable roof that can be open or closed depending on the weather and the season. And that's very important if you're on a cold climate cruise or at a time of the year when weather is going to be unpredictable. Some other cruise lines such as Virgin and Princess are launching ships without retractable roofs, which does limit their out-of-season appeal. There's also more facilities at the aft. Lots of space, also with hot tubs. So the Rotterdam pool areas are good. Right, let's talk about food. Here we go, the main dining room. I have to say, when you see it in person, it's a real showstopper. It has a lot of wow factor. Some have compared it to looking a little bit like you're inside of a whale, with the bones coming up from the sides. There is a real sense of occasion and size. What I do like is that it's much more spacious than the average main dining room these days. Look how far spaced out the tables are, not on top of each other. Some competitors shove the table mere inches away from each other, not here. You get that sense of privacy if that's what you want. I tell you the other aspect we liked, we never had a problem getting a table. We chose anytime dining, which is normally the death knell with some of the competition, with lines going right out of the door. We never had that problem. We always got a seat within moments. That is a testament to three things. Firstly, having enough seating for their passenger capacity, and secondly, having an efficient kitchen, and thirdly, sufficient staff. Also a contributing factor to not feeling full is that the buffet aboard is extremely good. And so half the ship went to that, and half came in here. I'd have to say it was of good quality, right up there in comparison to other premium lines. With good international selections, some East meets West, Mediterranean, meat and seafoods, there was a good variety. In general, across the entire cruise industry, standards of the main dining room cuisine are falling. But we did not feel that was the case here. On Holland America, it's consistent and good. I must say I do like this dining room. You go to many dining rooms across the different cruise lines and some of them are quite similar, but not this one. I really like the contemporary feel to it. And I do like a nice feature staircase. Back in the day, cruise ships always had feature staircases. Now they're phasing them out. I think it's a shame. Why not have a little bit of a drama? Why not have a little bit of sparkle and pizzazz? And Holland America is starting to get itself quite the reputation for music. And there is a section of the ship they call the Music Walk, where you can drift between three venues, all on the same deck, and get a different experience from each. First up, there is the B.B. King's Blues Club, and I think it's in one of the finest venues on the ship. A really dramatic two-story affair. The lights go down low, and you're seemingly transported to Beale Street in Memphis, as it becomes a live music hub, playing a range of smoky R&B, soul and blues. It has got a great vibe, and really pulsates late into the evening. It was one of our favourite places to while away our time. My wife loves live music, and this one really hit the spot. Just along the Music Walk corridor is the Rolling Stone. Here it is. It's got a great look and decoration to it. You can dance away to a live band, mostly rock music, but anything from pop to country and beyond. Finally, directly opposite is Billboard. It's a really popular venue to relax, have a drink and socialise. Now, what if you're someone who likes a sedate, relaxed afternoon as the sea goes by? First off is the observation bar. Hooray! Why do I say that? Because they are getting increasingly phased out on new ships, which I think is a crying shame, because they give a fantastic view. And let's face it, you're on a cruise ship, you're supposed to be able to see out, but so many newer ships have deleted them, or annoyingly given access to them only for suite guests. Thank God, Holland America ships still have a lovely observation lounge called the Explorations. It's a lovely spacious lounge right up high, top of the ship at the front. Now earlier on I said that the buffet aboard Rotterdam is good. Let me show you why I say that, and show you some of what we had. First off, it's spacious and well laid out. On all three Pinnacle class ships the buffet is called the Lido. Well, we've got some coconut curried mussels in a huge paella style pan. And we have some shrimp diabolo. We have some spiced pork belly. Wow, look at that. Suckling pig on the buffet tonight. Just counter after counter of tempting stuff. Ribs, steak, fish, tempura skewers. Sole, not often you get sole on a buffet. Wow, look at that paella. Huge vat of fish and mussels and shrimp. We have a lobster mac and cheese. Doesn't that look beautiful? Oh, and right next door, we have some escargot. Two of your favourite things in the same place at once.
Escargot.
You're not moving from this counter, are you? It's got absolutely everything in life that you've ever dreamt of. And we were really impressed with the breadth and variety of food on offer. It was of a generally high standard. One of the tests for how good a buffet is by how popular it is for dinner, because on most cruise lines, the main dining room is the place to be at night, because it's supposed to have the better food. Here, I would say at least half the diners at night were in here, the buffet. So that's a testament to its quality and variety. Okay, what about cabins? Let's show you. For us on that sailing, we were booked into a balcony. Absolutely no complaints. We felt it was well laid out, decorated in nice neutral colours, with a good selection of storage space and a comfy bed. I always do a bed test, and this one was good. I tell you what, the bathroom is spacious too, given the grade of cabin we had paid for. I think it looks just as premium as a luxury line that I'll be showing you later in this video. Wait for that comparison between the two bathrooms. As for specialty dining, Holland America and Rotterdam have quite a good selection. I won't run through all of them now, because after this you can go back and watch the dedicated video we have on the Rotterdam. Most cuisines are covered, and I tell you what, Holland America's prices for specialty are more reasonable than other cruise lines. Here, they generally max out at about $55. That is cheaper than other cruise lines I could mention. Looking at you, celebrity, for one. Their prices are closer to or over $100 for their version of this. Also, a shout out to the crew. It has to be some of the most friendly we found at sea. Genuinely so. It never seemed forced or put on, and it becomes infectious. When you're greeted by smiley people, you return it back. The staff were often singing and coming up to say hi.
Do you sing every night?
Yes!
Oh, I see. There was no reason for it, you just felt happy and felt like singing.
Always happy, make you happy.
Well done.
So what is Holland America and this ship the Rotterdam getting wrong? Actually, very little. This is why I said at the beginning of the video, I feel they're going under the radar, because the vast majority of things they're getting really well done. This ship is in that Goldilocks zone. It's big enough to have a wide range of facilities, but not so huge, such as the 6,000 mega ship size, which can get manic. But as with everything in life, I would say check you are the target audience for Holland America. If you like theme parks, this is absolutely the wrong ship. If you want high adrenaline action, again, it's the wrong market. And also the typical age group of those who travel on Holland America does skew a little bit older, typically in their 60s, 70s and 80s. Now, that doesn't worry us, not at all, because we're there for the ship, we're there for the experience, we're there for the quality of the offering. But for us, it's not an issue. We think Holland America is getting a lot right. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like, as it lets us know we're on the right track, and we'll try to put out more of this type of material. Okay, shall we now take a look at ship number 2 on our list of what we did in the past year? But just before we do that, I'd like to mention that every ship we're showing you in this video, we do have a full-length dedicated review video on our channel. These are released for every ship we go on. You can find them in our playlist. Often there's one, and in fact 2 reviews per ship. You can see the entire review in its entirety, because we go into so much more detail than we can in this video. Right, second ship that we did this past year, and it was our Christmas cruise. And for this, we wanted to go very traditional. This episode, it's our special edition, Cruising at Christmas. We'll take you aboard one of the most iconic cruise lines in the world. We show you exactly what it's like to step aboard a ship at this festive time of year, where every corner twinkles, the decorations shimmer, and holiday cheer fills the air. It's just like stepping into a living, breathing Christmas card. And as it's a special Christmas market cruise, we'll be dropping into some of the prettiest towns you can imagine. We'll be drinking mulled wine, visiting gorgeous markets, and getting thoroughly swept up in the atmosphere. And who are we cruising with on this particular edition? Well, a cruise line that's perhaps the most synonymous with celebrating Christmas, and that's Cunard, and their newly released ship, the Queen Anne. It was launched to great fanfare in May 2024, and positions itself as the future for Cunard.
Are we ready for a festive cruise?
This time you'll see lots of bread on board, but it's festive bread
Christmas trees everywhere. I can practically smell the mulled wine from here.
and the gingerbread.
Can't quite hear Christmas carols from here, but I'm imagining I can.
Would the Queen Anne look beautifully decorated? We held our breath. Well, as it turned out, we needn't have been anxious at all. The ship was looking gorgeous. You couldn't get any more festive. As we took our first few steps around the main sections of the ship, it was dazzling, sparkling, and twinkling all at once. You can't help but have a smile. And then here in the grand lobby, looking absolutely resplendent. The Christmas village set up the base of the sweeping staircase. Here there was a gingerbread model of the Queen Anne ship itself. As you look around, you feel like you've been transported back in times to Dickens or a Victorian village scene. The decorating team did a fantastic job. Certain cruise lines really make an effort at Christmas, and Cunard is one of them. And it is really important, if you're on a cold climate cruise, that the interior looks amazing, because you're really not going to be out on deck as much. So the Queen Anne was looking beautiful with all its decorations up, and what with it being the festive season, there were so many tempting treats that caught my eye as I drifted along the corridors.
There's a pop-up Christmas event.
Culinary spread.
Wow, look at that for the big old. We've got some turkey sausage roll. Well, I didn't really have a full English breakfast this morning, isn't it?
A taste of Christmas.
It is, look at that.
A surprise. Look at that.
Look at that. Doesn't that look festive?
With a bit of marzipan on top.
Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness. Look at those
Oh, I
donuts.
see. No, I think that's probably enough there. Who needs to go to watercolour class when I've made a work of art on my plate?
We're supposed to go on Insights talk. He found the Christmas special.
Well, I was on the way to the Insight talk and I just happened to see this pop-up stall. I tell you what, this Christmas cake is an absolute triumph. Just the right combination of gooiness, sweetness, savouriness. Hits the spot. Can't starve in the meantime. Look, that's Christmas on a plate, isn't it?
Are you going to go for your talk now?
I didn't. I had one last peruse of the delicious Christmas tray of snacks that they continue to bring out for the next hour or so. The smell was intoxicating. It would have tested the resistance and willpower of a saint. A quick look at the cabin so you can see what a Cunard Queen Anne balcony looks like. Well, dark blue with gold piping is the answer. This is a Britannia-class balcony, one of the most popular on the ship. A lot of people go for this one. Personally, we like the colour scheme, looks very traditional, and Cunard still gives a bottle of sparkling wine to each incoming passenger. Smallish bottle, yes, but it gets the sail away off to a nice start. If you haven't been on a Cunard cruise, afternoon tea is one of the absolute highlights. At precisely 3 o'clock on the dot, the waiters parade out in the Queen's Room with their silver trays and white gloves. You're probably not even hungry as you sit there, but you absolutely go for the spectacle and atmosphere. And it's included in the cruise fare, it's not an additional cost item. And then you keep sampling and eating until basically, well, you pop.
Well, I'm going to be very tempted by quite a lot. Okay, you got profiterole? What are those?
Cherry almond cake.
Consider it one of life's little guilty pleasures. Time to clear the Queen's Room because Gala Night is about to get underway. Always one of the most enjoyable aspects of any cruise, particularly if you're with Cunard, as it gives you a chance to dress up. Here we go in the Grand Lobby. There are generally 2 gala nights per week with Cunard, and the majority of passengers do embrace the opportunity to put on their finest. And at Christmas, when all the decorations are up, it's the perfect opportunity to snap away and get that family photo to remember it all by. And there are several great spots around the ship to give you that backdrop to enhance it all. And then into the chart room, which is the perfect bling-bling destination to photograph yourself. It's upholstered, veloured, chandeliered, and velveted to within an inch of its life. Perfect place to perch and pose. And then off to dinner. It's a great walk to the restaurant. There's always lots of buzz in the public areas on a gala night. The atmosphere is lovely, especially at Christmas. The first gala night, Cunard always gives a round of complimentary bubbles.
Cheers.
I must say it's an extremely good menu tonight, isn't it?
There's lots of interesting things on offer.
Yes, I think I could order about 5. The shellfish beast even has some cognac in it, drizzled lovingly in there. Beautiful. And seafood in a tarragon sauce. Doesn't that look good? I'm glad I ordered that one. That is delicious. It's creamy. It's got bacon, it's got seafood, it's got tarragon. Absolutely delicious. Just the right balance of guilt and taste. Chateaubriand, isn't it? Nice. Whenever I see that on the menu, I always try to order it. Here we are. Sticky toffee pudding. What's not to like? Coffee and sticky toffee pudding.
So the Queen Anne was looking beautiful for Christmas, but what about the ship itself? What do we think? What are they getting right? What are they getting wrong? Well, if you're not aware, Queen Anne has caused quite a bit of stir in the Cunard world, because not everyone is liking it. A lot of the traditional Cunard passengers say it's gone too modern, it's lost the plot. They feel it's strayed too far from the normal designs you get aboard a Cunard ship. But on the people we've been speaking to while we're aboard, those who are new to Cunard, who had no experience of the older ships, really did like it. They thought it was a good-looking ship that had covered a lot of the bases well. So there is this disconnect. If you're an existing Cunard passenger, you may not like it, but if you're new to Cunard, there's a good chance you will. And I can see what the bosses at Cunard are trying to achieve. All cruise lines do need to keep up with the times, try to remain relevant. And I did remark that several key areas had perhaps overdone the modernism, but there are some genuinely good points on the Queen Anne, such as the Commodore Club. This is the observation lounge. It's bigger than most Cunard ships and nicely done. The chart room also has had a makeover. Maybe you might think it's a bit bling, looks a bit like a jewellery shop. And then there's the library. I think it's one of the nicest at sea. No, it's not huge, it's not as big as what's on Queen Mary 2, but it does have great views out. It's beautifully furnished with a nod to old maritime ships with lovely props. It's a delightful place to while away a few hours. And the Britannia main dining room, it still has swooping lines. It has a more minimalist look. So in general, do we think the Queen Anne is a hit or a miss? Well, we did have to go on it 2 times to come to a conclusion. First time round, we really weren't sure. We felt it had lost a lot of that Art Deco feel. But the second time, 4 months later, we really came to warm to it. There are some great new additional restaurants that serve good food in lovely positions. That is welcome. And the 2 pool areas are very spacious and well laid out, and have a sort of retro feel to them. Also, the main pool has a retractable roof, because just like the Rotterdam, which we just reviewed, the Queen Anne is also a Pinnacle class ship, and the ship does have a good space-to-passenger ratio. So by the end of this Christmas cruise, we'd come to quite like the Queen Anne. Not as much as some of the other Cunard ships in their fleet, but it is doing quite well. One last point to mention, if you're on a Christmas cruise, there are some great Christmas markets to go and visit. On that sailing we saw some marvellous places, including Bruges in Belgium and Hamburg in Germany. We've been to Bruges at various times of the year, and it looks gorgeous no matter which month you come, but especially so in December, when the decorations go up and it looks even more stunning.
It's Rudolph the horse. Oh dear viewer, if only there was smell-o-vision, you would get the aroma that's coming out of that window. It's a window of magic. It's a window of senses.
After walking around for a few hours, you'll probably want to sit down and watch the world go by. And there are several restaurants and bars around the market square, all beautifully lit and so inviting.
I feel we need a little break, a little cup of hot chocolate or coffee, maybe some snacks. Some brioche buns, some speculoos or something like that.
And the cakes and pastries are all made on site. We could have happily ordered half the menu.
The House of Sin, Happy Sin. As the sun starts to set and the lights come on, it gets even more pretty. Try to get a cruise that's here until at least the late afternoon or early evening, so you can see the lights come on at night. I tell you what one absolutely needs at these Christmas markets, a glass of warm glühwein to get into the festive Christmassy spirit.
Gezondheid!
As the sun sets, the pretty lights come on, and some glühwein at Christmas in Bruges. Quite giddy quite quickly after your second or third glass of glühwein.
The city at night is so pretty, so enchanting. And it's all largely as it was hundreds of years ago, and you can't say that about many places these days. Right, we ready for the next ship? We're up to ship number 3. And And this was right around at the other side of the world to Asia for a totally different experience, small ship boutique cruising. This episode, we take you right around to the other side of the world, to one of the most magical destinations you could ever imagine. It will captivate and inspire you. Vietnam. We're going on small ship luxury cruising to Halong Bay, and it's cruising unlike anywhere else you would have witnessed. It's mesmerizing. And we're taking you aboard the beautifully equipped ship that we were on, with jaw-dropping views from every direction, no matter where you sat. And all the while being served gourmet food as the sun set over the bay, and visiting locations that could have come right out of the movies. In fact, they have. So join us as we whisk you to the other side of the world in this totally different form of cruising, and explore all that it has to offer, from the adventurous to the awe-inspiring to the serene and the magical. This is the Ritzy Travel Guide. And it's a remarkable destination, and you cruise at a totally different pace. Let's see how that started off. So, are we ready for a bit of small ship cruising? Do we call it small ship? Small boat? Not sure. They call it cruising anyhow. Now, there's not many cabins on board. This is quite small, quite boutique. It's quite niche. Right, on we get. Exciting to see what it's going to be like.
It's a whole fleet of them. All in the maritime gear.
They're all looking very smart and shipshape with their attire, aren't they? Oh, you've got rose petals. Oh, hang on. There's somebody up there dropping them from up there. I was wondering where they were magically coming from. You can catch some.
But it's for everybody. It's everybody's honey.
It is, isn't it? It's a carpet of petals. Right, let's have a look. It's got a certain timeless elegance to it. Very wood-panelled. I feel like I'm going to an Edwardian hotel. I feel like I should be dinging a bell there.
There's an overall charm to good paneling, isn't there?
Isn't there just?
And with that, we were ready for check-in. And the benefit of a small ship, embarkation takes about 21 seconds. And upon entering, there's a delightful blend of Asia meets old world London. You feel like you've just got out of a time machine and gone back to 1884 and Baker Street, with Sherlock Holmes about to sweep round the corner with his portmanteau and cloak.
What a lovely start to the cruise. Wood panel coming from everywhere.
It's like a high-end river cruise you get throughout Europe, except with this one, you're going to sea in Asia. It's a whimsical collage of cultures and experience. And Xin Chào means hello or welcome in Vietnamese, and you'll hear it wherever you go, with an accompanying bow. All very formal, but rather nice. So, safety briefing over, we had a chance to look around the dining room, and we were really looking forward to eating here, because this particular cruise line really prides itself on its cuisine. It's fine European food meets Asian fine dining. And with that, we took a little wander to the top deck. Well, it's all action stations out here. Everybody's getting ready to steam out. It's steaming out hour.
Hey look, there's a little seaplane. Look.
Oh yeah, there's a little seaplane. I'm surprised that's not going to get mowed down. I mean, have they spotted that seaplane? We'd only been on board for about 30 minutes by then, and already this Asian style of cruising was really grabbing us. Full of buzz, full of action. There's a pool. Hang on, would you call it a jacuzzi? There's going to be a bar up here, isn't there?
I quite like the fact that the top deck is a lot of space. So maybe they have yoga in the morning. I think, oh yeah, we're in Vietnam, so maybe Tai Chi in the morning.
There will be Tai Chi in the morning, which my wife, against my better judgment, forced me to join in. I'll subject you to a little bit of that later. And the scenery is absolutely stunning. It unwraps itself in front of you. Huge, majestic limestone cliffs towering above.
What a glorious sight. We're out on the back deck. watching a whole flotilla, a whole armada of ships heading out to Holland Bay. Look how close we're getting to this. You can practically stick your arm out and touch. I don't think the captain wants you to stick your arm out and touch, but you can almost do that. Lunch in this direction, and then fantastic view in this direction.
You get so close to the limestone islands. It really is rather stunning.
Yes, you've got to keep looking out the windows. Just as you think you should be tucking into your lunch, you go past another stunning vista.
Don't look at your lunch.
No.
Just look at the view.
Look out the window.
Fabulous, isn't it? And that's why when you go to Halong Bay in Vietnam, you go for the small ship experience, not one of these big cruise ships.
Mrs. Ritzy planning her own private launch. I feel it. She'll be in the classifieds before we get home, trying to find out how to get a Halong Bay yacht.
Even though it's a smaller boutique ship, you don't compromise on the cabins. Let's take a look.
Right, shall we go and take a look at our cabin? There's always a certain amount of eagerness, anticipation, because first of all we're on a small ship, and secondly, it's an Asian small ship, so...
It's the game of what's behind the door. Oh my god.
What?
The view is 180. Look at that view.
Wow, look at that.
It's literally 180. And we have an end cabin, which means we have the beauty of a 180 view. Look at that. And because you're in Halong Bay, it's actually a view worth having.
Look at that. Huge bed. Lovely panelling behind. Shall I do a bed test to see how comfy it is? It's quite tight, so I have to fairly vault my way on here. It's quite comfy.
There we are. Bed view. Isn't that absolutely sparkling? You can imagine you're here with us, lying on the mattress. Actually, that doesn't sound quite right, but you know what I mean. Dear viewer, are you imagining you're here, lying on the mattress, looking out Vietnam in the distance, the slight gentle breeze as you look out the window, door is open. There, that's Vietnam, right outside there.
See what? Here we are testing out the bed. We haven't actually seen the bathroom yet. We can take a look at it. That's looking rather nice from out here.
Here's a curse.
Yes. We got a bathtub. Look at that.
It's not just a bathtub, right? Even if you don't feel like having a shower, you ought to have one.
It's a bath with a view, isn't it?
How often in a video do we ever show you bathtub view?
Not often.
Not often. In fact, we have never shown that at all. But when you're in Halong Bay, look, they're coming back.
Oh, the tender's coming.
Apart from the delightful small ship experience you get, one of the main reasons you book a sailing around Halong Bay is the ability to drop in on the local communities and see the area. The whole of this region is UNESCO Heritage rated. You can see some amazing caves. They really are world class in what you get to see. You also get to go out on small little boats as you're rowed around the inlets and bays. This is quite astonishing, and you get to see a lot of the local wildlife. Each day, you have up to 3 excursions you can choose from. They're all included in the price. Let me give you a tiny sampler of what we got up to there.
We're going to be going on bicycles into some Vietnamese villages to see some, village folk, see some village activity.
So 15 minutes later, and we were arriving on shore, the most scenic spot you could imagine. Vietnam, right there in front of you. Ready for our journey inland to the village.
Well, here we go. This is going to be a bit of a laugh. We're going cycling. 4 kilometres, I think we're going, he said?
5.
5. It's about 4 miles.
Wow, what a beautiful, serene way to spend the afternoon.
First stop was the village pond for something very, very peculiar.
All right, I hear a whole load of squealing and giggling here because apparently they're trying out fish nibbling massage. I feel we should dangle our tootsies, dangle our toes in there and give it a bash. I just had a nibble on my feet. Whoa! I have to say it's quite a strange sensation. It's like somebody jabbing you with little needles.
Whoa, look at that.
Imagine somebody going like that with a safety pin into your feet, and there's about 10 or 15 of them. Look at the thousands of them, look!
It's all very weird. Right, now we've had our feet chewed off, back to the bone, we're going to try some rice wine. Here we go. Look at that choice of rice wine. Well, let's try them all from... Oh, what's in there? It's a cobra.
Cobra rice wine. Oh, you have a mouse. Quite
Right.
mild, eh? Thank you.
Strong wine.
It's a very strong wine, is it?
What is the alcohol level?
35 to...
But I have to cycle back.
No,
I will
it's,
cycle into the sea.
no, it's okay.
40% alcohol. Good luck.
That's quite strong, isn't it? Could light a cigarette with this, or a bonfire. It's quite strong.
Yoops.
What happens if you have 5 of these?
You.
There's sour, banana, and honeycomb.
We had a merry afternoon, trying out just about everything on the shelf. I can tell you what, it was quite a wobbly ride back to the ship on our bicycles. It's just what you hoped Vietnam promised, and indeed delivers on. We were particularly excited because we realised this was just part of even more activities we could look forward to over the next couple of days. We were on the ship for 4 days, and over that time we visited so many cute places, full of atmosphere and intrigue, and the cuisine aboard was superb, some of the best we've had. All right, we're off on a voyage of discovery. It's so photogenic. If you're fit and able-bodied, absolutely do try to do this. Life can be so stressful, and to be able to get away to locations such as this, if only for just the briefest moment in time, makes it all worthwhile. We had to pinch ourselves that we were there. Vietnam does give you these experiences that are worth the long-distance travel, worth the planning and preparation, to get yourself to the other side of the world and see with your own eyes a different way of life. If only we could have frozen that moment in time and bottled it up. It's an astonishing part of the world, it really is. There's no other word for it, astonishing. As you can see, we absolutely love that trip, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Now, after you finish this episode here, do go and look back for that video, that dedicated video we have on that trip around Halong Bay, because we show you a lot more than I've got time for here. Plus, that video includes details of the company we used and a whole load more suggestions. Later on, I'll give you the links for all of the cruise ships we tried out over the past year, so you can easily go and click and watch them. Still to come, we look at one of the biggest ships, the flashiest launch of the year, and a launch from a cruise ship we were really eager to see. So a lot still to come in this bumper-packed edition. Right, are we ready for the next ship? We're up to ship number 4. That's in the luxury sector, in fact the ultra-luxury sector. That's the top category in the cruise industry. So let me show you what we tried out a few months back. And after this, I'll tell you all about the ship. This episode, we review one of the most highly rated cruise lines ever to sail the seas. Back in the day, it was so popular, it won Best Cruise Line Award 20 years in a row. A record nobody has ever matched before or since. If you went with them, it signalled you'd reach the top. And then at their very height, boom, they went bust. Gone, seemingly forever. But, just like a phoenix rising from the ashes, they're now back. And they claim better and stronger than ever. So, is this true? And are they once again the best? We were recently aboard to check everything from top to bottom to see if they can reclaim that title, and if you should be on there too. Yeah, so who is it? Who do we try out? Well, they're called Crystal. May or may not have heard of them, but back in the day they were pretty much right at the top of the cruising pyramid. And at that time they owned everything that floated, from riverboats sailing through much of the European countryside, as well as expedition sea ships covering all remote corners of the world. They were so swish, they even had their own Crystal private jet to take you to their ships. They were the luxury all-rounder because they had ships for all seasons, all destinations. But along came the pandemic and hard times hit.
But they are back, now under the travel company Abercrombie & Kent, and have been refurbished because the ships are older. One of them 25 years old, the other 35 years old. But does the age of the ships matter? Should we be worried about it? It was on that basis that we stepped aboard.
Are we ready for a bit of Crystal? A bit of ultra-luxury 6-star pampering?
Look at that.
So here we go, 8 nights aboard. In some of the cruise reviews we do, it's all about the ship's technology or the latest gadgets and gimmicks. With Crystal, it's all about the elegance, the tradition, that return to the golden age of cruising. And the moment you get aboard, you really feel it. There's that sense of luxury and calm and serenity. What you also feel is their service, which pops up the second you step aboard, as you're greeted with a glass of champagne and a personalised welcome. The overall atmosphere on the ship is indeed refined and very polished. It feels like a private members' club at sea. There are those glamorous sweeping staircases, high ceilings, and gorgeous chandeliers. You do indeed feel like you're back to how cruising used to be 20 or 30 years ago, at its best. And I feel they've got the ambience absolutely right. Yes, the ships at Crystal might be older, but what many experienced travellers are now seeking is older ships so that you can get this feeling of space and comfort. You're not cheap by jowl, you're not fighting for a seat, because what makes cruising relaxing is plenty of choice aboard, and venues to chill and watch the world go by in comfort. Crystal is an all-inclusive cruise line, which pretty much means everything is included in the price. That means it includes your drinks, including alcoholic and non. It includes Wi-Fi, all of their speciality dining at least once, and all suites get a complimentary butler. And tips and gratuities are also included. And one other aspect worth emphasizing is that everything aboard Crystal is available to all guests. There's no blocked off areas, no hidden ship within a ship that certain other cruise lines are bringing in. So there's no gated retreats or exclusive areas you can't access. On Crystal, the entire ship is designed to deliver a suite class standard. So that does set it apart from many of the competitors who now split their ships into tiers.
There is loads of choice, a surprising amount, given the 600 plus passengers. We thought it might be a bit staid or old-fashioned on Crystal. Not so. The performers were lively and fun. Everything from big band to swing, jive and jazz. And what I think Crystal is brilliant at is its food offerings, and that includes right around the ship. They'll seek you out. Throughout the evening in various venues, staff will magically appear with trays of goodies. There's no need for you to move, it's brought to your chair. And they are gourmet offerings. It's called ultra luxury for a reason, and evenings here are great fun.
What a great show.
That was phenomenal.
Wasn't it? Let's go to the piano bar. I hear the sound wafting down the corridor.
A real old-style, wood-panelled section of the ship. We whiled away several hours here enjoying live music. Great atmosphere. Those all-inclusive drinks and nibbles keep coming. It's a real find on the ship.
And a lovely observation lounge, which served great afternoon teas. We enjoyed that on a couple of occasions. It takes you right back to how afternoon tea used to be in these grand old ships. What I think Crystal is really getting right on board is their restaurants. Now, there are some other cruise lines out there that claim to have the finest cuisine at sea. Look at you, Oceania. That does it. In fact, coming up later in this video, we do cruise with Oceania. So I'll be able to verify whether it's true or not. Their claim to be the finest at sea. Hold on for that. It's coming up in a few minutes. But I tell you what, I think Crystal does have a superb claim to be the best cuisine at sea. What we had on board was astonishingly good across all of their outlets, including their main dining room, which is called the Waterside, because main dining rooms these days on several other cruise lines is going downhill in quality. Why? Because the cruise lines want to sell you their speciality package. No issue here, as all of the restaurants on Crystal are included in the fare price. And the cuisine,
in them is equally good. In fact, I would venture to say that the food we had in Crystal's main dining room is as good, if not better, than other people give in their expensive speciality. Various outlets aboard include Umi Uma by Nobu. That's a very famous chain of Japanese and Peruvian fusion fare. Crystal is the only cruise company at sea that has a Nobu. Likewise, they have their Beef Bar, which is a steakhouse. This is a Monte Carlo-based chain that's also on the ship. We had some really good offerings here. And their final speciality is Italian Osteria di Video. This is new to their ships, and I reckon is an absolute standout. The cuisine is superb. I can't recommend it more highly.
Every spoonful in here is a surprise.
After this, do watch our dedicated video. In fact, we have 2 videos on Crystal where we go through the whole ship, including the cabins and the other facilities. So what do we think of Crystal? Can we recommend it? Absolutely. It was one of our highlight cruises for the year. They do know how to pamper you. And the ships, despite being older, still look good for their age. Some people actually prefer the look and feel of these older, more classic types of ship that Crystal has, and don't want it to be new and gleaming. But to counter this hesitation that their ships are older, Crystal has recently announced they're coming out with some brand new builds. A couple of them, in fact, and the first will be landing in 2 years' time, and it's called the Crystal Grace. Totally new, brand new. They hope that these new ships will appease those holding off from booking Crystal because their ships aren't new. Now, don't get me wrong, it is expensive, very expensive to travel with Crystal, as it is with any of these ultra-luxury cruise lines. In our 2 dedicated videos, we will go through the pros and cons and who we feel Crystal is suited to. Right, are we ready for the next ship? We're up to ship number 5. And it was with Princess and their brand new ship, the Star Princess. Let's see how that went. This episode we review one of the newest cruise ships in the world, the Star Princess, with a soaring glass sphere that sparkles and shimmers in the light, and a dome that's so pretty it almost takes your breath away. It's been built to impress and totally dazzle you. Its pools and terraces seem to float above the sea. It's all laden with features and attention grabbers. We just came back from 7 nights aboard within days of its maiden voyage, and we're going to take you right to the heart of the ship so you can imagine what it would be like to be there. We'll uncover the spaces that may surprise and intrigue you. But behind all of this, underneath that sparkle, lies the big question. Is it a success? Is it really the modern all-rounder ship that we've all been waiting for? The future of cruising? Let's find out. So Princess are going bigger with their new ships, much bigger. The Star Princess caters for up to 4,500 passengers. That is almost double the number of their traditional ships, so it's a big difference. Having now sailed in it, I think there are 5 things we liked and 2 we very much didn't like. Let's tell you how our sailing was. Star Princess is the second in what they call their sphere class, so called because of this big bulging bubble on the side. Looks a bit like a goldfish bowl. It contains their atrium and several venues in the centre of the ship. Show you more out in a moment, but straight off before you get aboard, one of the 5 aspects we do like is the medallion. This you keep upon you. You can wear it like a watch. It's a smart device. Rather than carrying a key card, this keeps track of your movements and location. It sounds a bit like Big Brother, but it does have its uses. First of all, family members know where each other is. No need to endlessly track each other down or find your lost group members. It also can have your drinks or food delivered right to you, no matter where you are around the ship, because the staff can locate you. As a proximity reader, it also lets you in your cabin, and it opens up magically before you get there. No fumbling for keys or cards, it just opens up the door for you. Personally, I like the medallion, and I'm surprised other cruise lines haven't emulated it or copied it. Virgin has done a little bit, but it's not as smart or as clever. Now, one of the criticisms of the ship, or it could be praised depending which side of the divide you are on, is the look of it. It's much more modern. Walking through the ship for the first time, particularly at night, it catches you rather by surprise. You look at it and almost do a double take. Is this a princess ship? It's a lot more modern than Princess of old, isn't it? The next aspect that strikes you is the scale and size of the ship. Much bigger than any princess before, with huge LED panels from floor to ceiling. And it carries on outside as much as in. Here is a quick glimpse of the dome, one of the standout features of the Sphere class, with huge waterfall coming from the ceiling, bright rainbow colours. Another part of the ship that has been updated is the theatre. Interestingly, the stage is designed to move and transform. It lifts, tilts and even rotates. This was their pirate-style stage show that's called Meridian, complete with fire to singe the eyebrows right off the nearest spectator. So the Princess is trying to liven up their theatre acts just a bit. It's a 900-seat venue. It sounds a lot, but not really. With 4,500 passengers aboard, you've got to get there early and grab a seat. Now, what about the outside of the ship? It's a spacious facility, and generally the pools are big enough. And for once, it has sufficient hot tubs all around the ship. I lost count on the Star Princess how many there are dotted around on multiple levels of the ship, front, middle and back. An outdoor section that we really enjoyed was the aft, at the back of the ship, with additional pool and relaxation areas. I tell you what, it's a bit of a secret here. A lot of people had no idea this even existed and went almost the entire cruise without ever finding it, because it is a bit hidden away. You need to go up a bit, down a bit, round a bit just to get there, and you'll find an infinity pool. You do feel a bit like you're a piranha dangling out the back of the ship. It's a great spot, one of our favourite parts of the ship. Now, one of the real highlights of the Star Princess, the one that gets a lot of PR, a lot of media buzz and attention, is the dome. To us, this is one of the real talking points of the ship. One of those signature spaces that really define both the Sun Princess and this her sister, the Star Princess. It's a little bit futuristic, a bit space age. Now heading inside, and I think this is where it does become a little bit special. It's part solarium, part entertainment lounge. It's one of the most photographed spaces on board. You've got loungers, a small pool to one side, and a calm, spa-like feeling that's almost a bit zen. And some of the most comfortable seating on the ship. And when the sun goes down, that's when it really delights. Walking in, lights lead the way. The whole space transforms into an immersive entertainment venue, with live music, lighting effects and projections that dance across that curved glass. Walking up, it's like a viewing platform, a stadium. The dome becomes this glowing, multicoloured crystal at the top of the ship. It's bold, it's futuristic, and whilst we were on board, they hosted what they call the candlelit evenings, which are intimate live performances with singers and musicians. It feels like a Christmas globe, immersive, almost magical. For us, the dome is a real showstopper. It's atmospheric, it's pretty and almost unique as a facility at sea. This Princess has got absolutely right. We loved it in here. What else do we like about the Star Princess? Well, the flow of the ship. We do feel it's been well laid out. It handles the numbers well. The buffet, actually, we feel is well designed, and the food is not bad either. The selection was pretty good for this price point with a wide range of offerings. It's not the best at sea, but it's certainly not the worst. We have no complaints at all, and the opening hours are reasonably generous. I tell you what was also excellent was the quick service food counters, especially the Detroit pizza and the burgers. They became almost irresistible. Well, my wife, who normally has ironclad resistance to fast food, couldn't get enough of it. Service throughout the ship is also great. Staff were willing and friendly. So what didn't we like about the Star Princess? Well, there are two major aspects that we really didn't enjoy, and I mention them so you can decide if it's relevant to you or not. First up, we're talking about the central atrium, what they call the piazza. Princess have decided very much to make this an entertainment zone. They've even got bleachers-style benches all around it on 3 levels. This means that at various times of the day, it is loud in here. And some of the most iconic, some of the most well-known Princess bars and lounges link directly off this atrium, such as Bellini's and Cunard's. Both are beautifully decorated. If it wasn't for blaring music and activities right there in the atrium. On multiple occasions, we gave up, trying to have a relaxing drink, a pleasant time, couldn't even have a chat on some occasions because of that noisy atrium, and it's such a shame. And that piazza is directly responsible for the second aspect that we had a problem with, and that was our cabin. We had booked a cove balcony. This is what it is. It's a bit like a sheltered balcony, and it happened to be located near the centre of the ship. Here it is in the same vicinity of that noisy atrium, this big glass bubble. I tell you what, after a couple of nights of noisy discos, noisy music, noisy activities there, those events were going into the early hours. My wife said she'd had enough. She went off to guest relations at 1 a.m. and said, is there any available cabin, any other cabin further away? We'd even take a downgrade if necessary. Anything to get away from that noise. The Sphere, it acts like a beating drum. Thankfully, the staff were very understanding and we did manage to get a cabin further away. Lucky the ship wasn't full. So if I was asked to give any advice whatsoever, it is to check the location of your cabin very carefully. And I, if it was me, would not pick a cabin clustered around that central atrium. I can't guarantee the issue would be the same for you. This is how it was for us. Incidentally, shortly we will be bringing out a comparison video comparing all of the premium class of ships out there in the market. That covers the lines, 5 of them: Holland America, Princess, Celebrity, Cunard and Virgin, because we have tested all 5 of these premium class cruise lines in the past year. In that video, I will go through all the good and bad points of each and give you some of our thoughts on what makes the best overall package. So, Star Princess, our overall verdict, do we recommend it? Well, I'd say by and large, yes, it has got many things right. Right, 2 more ships, the final 2 ships to show you of our cruising year, and you haven't seen either of these 2 yet. We haven't released any of our review videos because we've literally just got off them, so you're seeing this hot off the press. In fact, you're seeing an early preview, an early release. Nobody else has seen these, and they're 2 totally different types of ship. Right, let's show you the first of these 2, and it is an absolute whopper, one of the largest ships in the world, and it's from MSC and their ship, the World America. Here it is, absolutely ginormous. And you might be thinking, hold on a minute, we swore blind never to go on MSC again. That is absolutely true. Because 2 years ago, when we last went on an MSC cruise, we pretty much hated it and swore blind never to go on MSC again because that trip was chaotic, it was frustrating and anything but enjoyable. Yet here we are again on one of their ships. Why?
Remind me, why are we doing this again?
Yes, I can see your fair running onto this ship with excitement.
Why? Well, because the PR department promised a totally different experience, an upgraded experience. And their marketing blitz promised all sorts of facilities, fun and games, frolics, plenty of theme park attractions, bright lights, shows and food galore. But would any of it be any good at all? The ship is almost brand new, less than 6 months old. So off we went to Miami for a 7-night cruise around the Caribbean to find out. As soon as you step on it, there are 2 things that catch you. First of all, it's large, huge. Secondly, it's a bit like their version of several Royal Caribbean ships. Inside, though, it is pure MSC. Plenty of big sparkling lights. The centre of the ship has lots of bling, silver reflective surfaces, and their trademark ceilings, which can project anything from the ocean floor to a spaceship circling the moon. It's their statement section. This is unmistakably their look. Likewise, outside on the aft, the promenade deck. You may have seen this on several other ships. It has neon everywhere. But pull yourself away from the bright lights and the ship designers have come up with some really nice sections. Some very well done crafted bars with different themes. There's a mixology bar, an onboard brewery which is concocting both beer and gin, with an accompanying gin room which is nicely themed with period bottles and props. It's a bit like stepping into a Victorian apothecary. This new ship has also been Americanized to a certain extent, as its home port in Miami, so there's a sports bar, and this was one of the most popular hangouts during our sailing. There's also a dueling pianos lounge, which doubles up as a comedy club, as well as a karaoke hall, where anyone can come and entertain us. There are the usual kid zones, bumper cars, and no end of areas to play in, including right at the top of the ship, the theme park zone. This is where the daredevil in you can come out. And there's a huge swing. Here it is. It's called the cliffhanger, and it literally dangles you, swings you out to sea. Are you itching to go on this one? Are you jumping out of your chair saying, me, me? There's also an assault course up high, as well as some frooms, which seem to be beckoning me in. Most of these I did try, such as this one. I felt all psychedelic in the 70s. I was almost tripping and grooving my way down, and it is quite a long ride. It's very psychedelic. There's also the jaw drop, which we both tried. You hurtle down several floors to the bottom. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready. Should I see?
Yes. 3, 2, 1, go! Woo! In our full review video, I'll show you inside the jaw drop and how it feels to plummet 9 stories. So watch out for that upcoming video. So how were the cabins? Well, for that sailing, we were booked into one of their infinite verandas. You know the type, you also see them on Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, where you don't have a balcony, but you have a big window in its place. My wife quite likes them, as the space where the balcony would have been is now inside, making the cabin bigger. I have to say the cabin does look smart, looked premium almost, much higher grade than you might expect on MSC.
It's a nice looking cabin, isn't it? I think it's been done very well, actually. Got that nice, I think, a slightly upmarket feel, would you say?
This is quite unique. It has a divider and you can put a lot of things on it, because if you know what is sometimes missing in a cabin is storage. You know, things to put your pens and papers and iPads and things that you want out of the way.
How about the food? Well, we tried both a speciality as well as the main dining room. Both were actually quite satisfactory. I would say middle ranking, again, bearing in mind the price point. They were very acceptable. Not the best at sea, but you get what you're paying for. I tell you what is good on board, and that's the entertainment. There are in effect 2 main performance venues on the ship. There's the main theatre, and then what they confusingly call the Panorama Lounge, which is actually a very impressive mini concert hall with fabulous seating and great sounds and visuals with immersive screens. And throughout the cruise, they put on some of the best shows we've attended to at sea. I kid you not. Yes, MSC might have some issues that we really don't agree with, so we do want to give them full credit for these performances. They were astonishingly good. But the flip side, as ever with MSC, with almost 7,000 people aboard chasing these shows, less than 5% or 10% will ever get to witness them because of seating capacity. So it is vital to book the shows the moment you get aboard. That is job number 1. Now let's take a look at what we didn't like. First off, the sheer numbers aboard. There's a peak capacity of 6,700, that's a huge number, and it shows when you use the principal parts of the ship, especially so in places like the pools.
Baywatch, only round.
Okay, let's see if we can find a spot outside.
No matter what others might tell you, it can and does get packed. Most days you couldn't get near a recliner, a lounger or a chair. Now I know having a jammed pool area isn't unique to MSC. Several other cruise lines also have pool areas that look like this. But if you're asking, has MSC World America solved this problem? No, it has not. The entire week we almost never got to use this section because we refused to go there at 6 AM and illegally block off seating. Now, there are other pool areas. Here is the adults only section at the back. It's supposed to alleviate the congestion problem to solve the overcapacity. Sadly, it doesn't, because both these two adult pools are too small, nowhere near enough to make a dent in the problem.
Okay, now there's quite a lot of observations as you walk around the ship. Firstly, here at the back, at the aft, you've got two pools. This is the Zen pool area, which is adults only. So far, so good. The problem is that they're really very small. You've got 6,500 passengers, 6,800 passengers, two relatively small pools. It's like corks floating around. Trust me, those get seriously jammed.
Now, because we're just giving you a sneak preview, those two full review videos haven't yet come out. They will be shortly. It will go through the whole gamut of issues we found with MSC. Some parts we really like, don't get me wrong. We're not here to slam at MSC. Some parts of World America we liked, others less so, and that review video will go through the good and bad points so that you can make your decision and decide whether you think World America is for you. Incidentally, in that second video, what we call the Cruise Diary, I will show you MSC's private island in the Bahamas. It's called Ocean Key. It is a stunner. We'll show you around it. The video also shows you some of the exploits we got up to, such as ziplining through the jungles of Honduras.
For purposes of clarity and avoidance of doubt, can I just point out this is very, 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 very high. Woo! Whoa, this is high!
I can fully recommend that as you fly through the treetops. You might need a rum or two for Dutch courage before you fling yourself off the top. Here's me getting an absolute adrenaline rush. And guess what? Just as you get to the bottom, to add to the surprise, a local on a horseback gallops out of nowhere, takes you to the end. I've never seen that before. Watch out for this video. So at this juncture, what's our verdict on MSC? Well, it's unbeatable on price. If you haven't got a huge budget, it is one of the best, if not the best budget option, better than some of the other alternatives out there. Okay, let's look at number 7, the final ship we went on over the past year, and it's a luxury option for those who are looking for a little bit of pampering, and it's from Oceania. So this is very much an upmarket product. Oceania have been around for quite a few years. Up until recently, their ships were quite old, many from the defunct Renaissance line, and they're R-class ships. But loyal customers were delighted to hear that there were going to be some brand new ships coming in the Vista class. The first of these was launched. That was in May 2023 and immediately received positive comments. Then this year, just recently, the sister ship in this Vista class, the Allura, was launched. This is the one we've been going on, the one we've just tried. It's only been out a couple of months, the paint is still fresh. It has a capacity of just 1,200. So Oceania is in this luxury sector. Its competitors would be the like of Azamara, Viking, Windstar, and Explorer Journeys. So let's take you aboard. Remember, the full review video hasn't even come out yet, so I'm giving you a sneak preview. Let's take you aboard so you can see how it went for us on the Allura. Here we go, as we depart from Miami for the voyage to the Caribbean and back. Miami is always such a dramatic port to sail out of. Loads to see, with the high rises and those beaches, you get unbelievably close up. I tell you what, if you're a ship watcher, just set up camp on the beach from 4 o'clock onwards in the afternoon. You can watch 6, 8, 10 cruise ships sweep by you in succession. Straight away you can see the Allura has quite an upmarket look. I feel the pool area is one of the prettiest out there. It has gorgeous lines, and during the day you can see it all better. I think it looks great, beautifully laid out with a lot of space, and this is what a luxury price tag brings you. We often get asked what is the major reason you might want to pay for luxury, because the equation is this: luxury equals space. There's far less people for the given ship size. On our Oceania cruise, we barely felt congested. rarely felt jostled or lacking in space. This pool area might look small, but it's not, and we never had a problem getting a lounger or a seat or a table. That's rare on a cruise ship these days. These pools on these Vista-class ships are a huge plus point. They've got it right. Let's head inside, and it does feel quite sophisticated when you're there to see it in person. It's a bit like stepping onto Regent to a certain extent. This is a ship designed for those who like things a little bit calm, elegant, with a strong focus on comfort. From the moment you get on board, it does feel quite grown up, polished, and unmistakably Oceania. It's an overall layout which encourages you to wander rather than rush around like the more hectic ships. Let's take a quick look at the cabin we were in, which was a concierge-grade balcony. It was furnished in contemporary style and we liked it. The bed was comfortable, though we did have some issues, and I'll also explain that, but the linen were soft and good. The bathroom also was very well thought out and reasonably spacious, with a decent-sized shower area. The balcony also has to be commended for the space it has, more than enough for a recliner, 2 chairs and a table. And on a couple of occasions we ordered afternoon and evening snacks out there from room service and had a very nice mezzo platter delivered. Now, because our cabin was a concierge grade, we did get access to a spa pool deck with a private terrace and also a Thalasso pool and hot tubs. In our full review video, I'll go through the various cabin grades and the perks you get for each, so you can decide whether you might want to pay up for this type of upgrade. Now, what about the food? What have we got to say about that? Well, quite a lot, really, because Oceania has its self-created slogan of the finest cuisine at sea. Now, in our full review video, we will take you through every single dining outlet aboard. There are 4 speciality, including the much vaulted Jacques, that's the French outlet. Now, for us, that was excellent. There's also an Italian, a steakhouse, and an Asian too. Those also were very good. We also really liked what's called the Baristas, the coffee house. We loved that. Fantastic view out all around, some delightful pastries. And there's the main dining room, or what Oceania called the grand dining room. Here it is. It's a really very pretty space on the ship. In fact, I think it's one of the prettiest main dining rooms at sea at the moment. It has a Raffles Hotel in Singapore type of feel to it if you've been there. It's like the naval equivalent of the Raffles. There's also a culinary centre that you can sign up for. It's an optional extra, but it was extremely popular during our sailing. Oceania also serves an afternoon tea, usually to the accompaniment of a string quartet. And the trolleys come swishing around the corner, laden with any number of tempting and forbidden desserts, tarts and savouries. There's no point resisting. The only reason you came here was to eat in the first place. Just give in and go with the flow. Now, did we enjoy our time aboard Oceania and the Allura? Absolutely, yes we did. In fact, my wife said it was one of her favourite cruises of the year. So, in answer to that question, absolutely you enjoy it. Was it perfect? Was it flawless? No, absolutely it wasn't. In that review video, we'll cover both sides of the coin. That cruise, we did go to some great port destinations, including to Rotterdam, where we went to a gorgeous animal sanctuary. They had a marvellous collection of animals. We had a fantastic time there, and particularly with the sloths. It's not often you can get up close to them, and here you really can. It was one of the highlights of the trip. And we'll show you a lot more of the port destinations we went to with Oceania when that upcoming cruise diary is released. Incidentally, there are a lot of new ships being launched in 2026, some really interesting sounding ones, and the very next video to be released on our channel on Ritzy Travel Guide will be our annual look at all of the new ships being launched in 2026. I've got all the inside scoop and information for you, highlighting which ones pique our interest. So in conclusion to this particular video, which of the 7 ships we went on in the past 12 months did we most enjoy, would we most recommend to you? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask me or my wife, first off, my wife, what she liked. In fact, she had 2 Was the last one, just mentioned Oceania. She felt that really suited her. She also liked the Christmas cruise with Cunard and the Queen Anne because you get a warm, fuzzy feeling when you go on a beautifully decorated ship at a festive time for year. As for me, I think there were 3 ships on this list which really hit the mark. First off, Crystal. I do love that experience and their service. My wife felt it was a bit quiet, but I really love the cuisine. For me, that is the finest cuisine at sea out of any of the cruise lines. I too enjoyed Cunard at Christmas. It put such a smile on our face. We were there with the entire family. It was a very memorable time, and I think you would enjoy a festive Christmas on a traditional cruise line as well. I also enjoyed that Asian trip in Vietnam. It was such a fun trip because after we got off that cruise, we went to an elephant sanctuary for a land-based tour that's right in the jungle, and on that we slept amongst the elephants and fed them breakfast as well as bathing them. This is a separate video that's also on our channel you can watch, where you can see what it's like to go deep into the jungle in Asia. Now, having finished this, please do go off and watch all the relevant in-depth reviews for these 7 ships. Here are all the thumbnails. You'll find them on our channel. There's a huge amount of information in there for you. I will also leave the direct links in the description box below. As I record this, it's coming up to the end of the year. Could I take the opportunity to wish you all a happy and Merry Christmas and a fabulous New Year. It's been wonderful having you with us on the Ritzy Travel Guide throughout this year. 2026, we have so much planned to share with you here on the Ritzy Travel Guide. Do continue to join us for that. We do so much love having you with us. Our new video for those maiden launches of the new cruise ships in 2026 will be out very shortly. If it's already available, you can see it here. If not, wait just a couple of weeks and it will be there. And we have several other videos on our channel you can watch now. And we'll see you in one of these right now.